I'm Miss Charlene, and I'm back again to give you another story that you can use your geometry tangrams to enjoy the story and to solve the tangram puzzle. The tangrams are the 7 plastic pieces that you found in your last academic packet. So the story that we're going to hear today is also an accelerated reading story, so you can take a test on it when you're finished. And the name of the story is 3 Pigs, 1 Wolf, and 7 Magic Shapes. So let's listen to the story. Do you know the story about the 3 little pigs? Of course you do. They built 3 little houses out of straw, sticks, and bricks. Then the big bad wolf came along and huffed and puffed and blew 2 houses down. Only the brick house was strong and safe. So 2 of the pigs were eaten, and the 3rd pig lived happily ever after. So you know that story. Well, in a nearby village, there were 3 other little pigs who were ready to seek their fortunes. They kissed their mama and papa goodbye, and they went their separate ways. Now, the first little pig met a magic duck. Okay, use your tangram pieces to build the magic duck. 2 large right triangles, 2 small right triangles, parallelogram, square, medium-sized right triangle. Use the right angles to help you position your pieces. You can rotate them, you can slide them, you can move them to the right or the left. The first little pig said, "Please, duck, can you help me seek my fortune?" And so the duck gave the first little pig 7 magic shapes that you already have. 2 little triangles, 1 medium-sized triangle, 2 large triangles, a square, and a parallelogram. Use your shapes wisely, said the duck, and he walked away. So the first little pig went along with his 7 magic shapes in his pocket, but he grew lonely. And after a while, he had a brother and a sister pig to talk to when he was at home. But he's not home now, and he began to get lonely. So he decided to use his magic shapes wisely. He would make a cat. "That is very wise," said the pig. "I will not be lonely anymore." So change your magic duck into a cat. 2 large right triangles, 2 small right triangles, a square, medium-sized triangle, parallelogram. Use your right angles to help you position the triangles. Well, just then, after he made the cat so that he wouldn't be lonely, you're not going to believe who came by. Big Brad Wolf. Now, Big Brad Wolf is the twin brother of Big Bad Wolf from the other little 3 pig story. Big Brad Wolf had run all the way from the other village. So he was doing a lot of huffing and puffing, and he huffed and he puffed and he huffed and he puffed, and then he ate up the first little pig and the cat too. So let's go back to the second little pig. The second little pig was walking and met a magic rabbit. Okay, can you turn your cat into a rabbit? And not just any rabbit, a magic rabbit. 2 large triangles. There's the right angle, there's the right angle. 2 small triangles. There's the right angle, there's the right angle. A square, parallelogram, and the medium-sized triangle, there's the right angle. Please, Magic Rabbit, can you help me seek my fortune? And so the Magic Rabbit gave the second little pig 7 magic shapes. 2 little right triangles, 1 medium-sized right triangle, 2 large right triangles, a square, and a parallelogram. Use them wisely, said the Magic Rabbit, and she hopped away. That evening, it grew dark, and the second little pig started to get frightened. And so the second little pig, being very afraid, tried to make a wise decision. And he used his magic shapes to make a candle. This is very wise, said the second pig. I will not be frightened anymore. So let's turn our cat into a very wise candle. No, we're going to turn our rabbit, the Magic Rabbit, into a very wise candle because he was frightened of the dark. There's the square and the parallelogram. The parallelogram has no right angles. Here's the 2 large right triangles. There's a right angle and there's a right angle. Here's the 2 small right triangles. There's the right angle, there's the right angle. And then this is the medium-sized triangle. There's the right angle. The second little pig said, "This is so wise. I will not be frightened anymore of the dark." But it wasn't wise enough because you're not going to believe who came along. Did you say Big Brad Wolf? Well, that's exactly what happened. The wolf, Big Brad Wolf, came along, and you're not going to believe what he did. Did you say he huffed and puffed? Yes, he huffed, and he puffed, and he huffed, and he puffed, and he blew out the candle, and he ate the second little pig, gobbled him right up. So, if the story's going to continue, we have to go back to the third pig. The third little pig was walking on a journey, and he met a magic swan. Okay, so change your candle into a swan. Here are 2 large right triangles. There's the right angle, and there's the right angle. Here's the medium-sized right triangle. There's the right angle. Here are the 2 small right triangles. There's the right triangle, and there's the right triangle. Then you have the square and the parallelogram, which has no right angles at all. And the square has 4 right angles. "Mr. Magic Swan, can you help me find my fortune?" said the little pig. And so the Magic Swan, can you guess what he gave the third little pig? Yep, he gave him 7 magic shapes, 2 little triangles, 1 medium-sized triangle, 2 large triangles, a square, and a parallelogram. Now, the third little pig thought and thought and thought about how to use the shapes wisely. And so she decided to build a safe and cozy house, which we know was a very smart thing to do because if Big Brad Wolf came along, the little pig would be safe inside the house. So there's the little pig's house. That's where the square goes. That's where the parallelogram goes. That's the 2 large right triangles. There's the medium-sized triangle. And there's the 2 small right triangles. There's a right angle. Here's a right angle. here's a right angle, and there are right angles. The third little pig was very wise indeed to make a house, because Big Brad Wolf came by. And Big Brad Wolf was very hungry, even though he shouldn't have been hungry, because he already ate Little Pig 1 and Little Pig 2, and now here was Little Pig 3. When Big Brad Wolf saw Little Pig 3's house, he said, little pig, let me come in." And the little pig said, No, not by the hair of my chinny chin. And then Big Brad Wolf said, "Then I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house down." And so Big Brad Wolf huffed and he puffed and he huffed and he puffed and he huffed and he puffed and he puffed and he huffed and he puffed and he huffed, and he could not blow that brick house down. So Big Brad Wolf just went away. Well, one day, the little pig who built the house of bricks met the little pig who built the house of shapes. And those two little pigs fell in love and they got married, and they no longer needed two houses. So the little pig who built a house of shapes had an idea. She took her 7 magic shapes apart, and she used those 7 magic shapes to build a beautiful sailboat that would take her and her mate on a long honeymoon. Can you turn your house into a sailboat? The 2 large triangles are the sails. There's the right triangle. There's the right triangle. Here's the medium-sized triangle and the parallelogram. There's a right triangle. Then there's the square and the small-sized triangle. There should have been 2 of them. One goes here and one goes there. Let me see if I can draw both of those in there for you. Yeah, that's where the 2 small triangles go. So, after the house made of shapes was taken apart and turned into a sailboat, the 2 little pigs boarded the boat, and suddenly, guess who appeared? Big Brad Wolf. And he was very angry and very hungry now, so he puffed and he huffed and he puffed and he huffed, and Big Brad Wolf made a wonderful wind that blew the sailboat halfway around the world. And the 2 little pigs lived happily ever after, and they had 3 little pigs of their very own. And all of those 3 little pigs were very smart. 3 pigs, 1 wolf, and 7 magic shapes. I hope you enjoyed this story and were able to make the magic shapes with your Tangram puzzles. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.